Welcome back to Chaos Collectibles. In today's video, we're going to take a look at my latest custom Zoloworld figure. And I just completed this bad boy yesterday, so I'm pretty pleased with the way that it turned out. And yeah, I ended up buying some paints and shit. And they were supposed to be here yesterday, and it looks like they just showed up in Detroit this morning. They won't be here until Monday, so I ended up having to mix my own paints to do this thing. I just wanted to get it finished. Anyhow, got it done. And here it is. This is the Zombie Barbarian. There we go. Yellow eye. It's got some slobber. Painted some ribs on him. Some ribs there, like he's kind of tore open right there with the collarbone and a couple ribs. So this was initially a Jungle Lord figure. And I bought this 3D printed head and sculpted a neck on it. So that way it is a fully functional head. It does turn. And gave him the Death Dealer axe. In fact, I did have an idea where I wanted to make like a bone, kind of like I did with the Baracus figure. And I was gonna make like a Morning Star. I was gonna hook a chain up to it and then put a head on there. But I couldn't find a head that had like an expression on it to where it was just, nothing. And I wanted to kind of like bust it open and have the brain showing and stuff, but then trying to figure out how to do that and then connect the, chain to it. I don't know, maybe something in the future. But I ended up coming up with the next best idea, which is, did I bring it over here? I don't see it, but there's a Zolo head, decapitated head right here that I ended up getting at a Zoloverse Halloween show a couple years ago. So next best thing, this guy's just holding this head on this chain. So pretty cool. So I gave him it. And another idea that I had is I was actually going to cut his arm off and give him like a skeleton arm. I was going to attach part of the skeleton here. The only thing is, if you look at it, the arm's not very long here, and I'd want to make it the same length as the other arm. So if I were to cut that back, I'd be pretty much right at the wrist, which is actually bigger than his wrist. So it wouldn't have worked out too well, but that was one of the ideas that I had for this guy. But didn't want to destroy the figure and have something not work. So just by comparing the two, I was like, maybe I won't do that. But I'm pretty happy with the way this guy turned out. Made a loincloth for him out of the old t-shirt that I used for the other ones. So been using the same shirt for all of these. And then I ended up giving him a Flesh Eater belt. I was going to use this Spawn belt here, but then I'd end up having to glue it to the material and all that stuff. So I just ended up going the more simple route with this one. But I'm pretty happy with the way this guy turned out here. So what I did with the paint, I told you I was waiting on some paint. I ended up getting this olive drab color from Hobby Lobby, Vallejo paint, and I mixed in this, it's called Black Green Vallejo ink, which is a watered down paint, but it still has good pigment, so it's not quite just watered down. So I mixed the two together, went over it, ended up being like a real dark olive. And so then I took that same olive drab and I mixed it with the Barbarian skin tone, mixed it up real good, and I dry brushed over the top of it, painted it up. That way he does still have the, the shadows and the highlights and stuff like that, which probably you can't see too well in this, but his skin tone just isn't one color. So I think it turned out pretty good for what it is. Pretty happy with this guy. Pretty ugly mug on him. And for the bloody parts and the eye socket and all that, I used a blood red, which is very bright red, and I mixed it with a little bit of black. And then as you can see where his ribs are, I kind of mixed a little more red with the black, or a little less, or a little, you know, to get the different colors there, because that's all not one color there. Didn't want it to be all just one solid color right there where he's got that. And all of his wounds are kind of that same way. So there's a multitude of colors, 2 or 3 different blood colors right there. But yeah, this is the Zolo zombie. And since he is a zombie barbarian, I'm going to call this guy Zombaro. So there you have it, everybody. My latest custom figure. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you all have an awesome day. Until next time. Woo!